Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa, Weekend Treats Edition. And today I'm going to show you how to make a Dutch apple pie by the medical medium. It's Lunch with Lisa. The apple, an ancient food, and it brings us back to the source. It is one of the very first foods to have comforted us. But apples really connect us to a sense of sanctuary. This makes them ideal for when you're feeling depressed, alienated, invalidated, worthless, useless. You get the point. So if there ever comes a time when you're feeling invalidated, grab an apple. Eating one can help change your course. For this recipe, you're gonna need flaxseed, applesauce, coconut sugar, coconut oil, gluten-free oat flour, brown rice flour, tapioca flour, maple syrup, potato starch, ground cinnamon, lemon juice, and of course, apples. See the recipe down below for all the amounts. All right, the first thing we're going to do is make the crust. Grind up 3 tablespoons of flax seeds and add them to your applesauce, your coconut sugar, and coconut oil. Whisk this together until it's uniform. In another bowl, whisk together the oat flour, brown rice flour, and tapioca flour. Add the wet ingredients to the dry and stir until you get a uniform soft dough. Stirring the dough together becomes hard. Get your hands in there and work it. And if it's too dry, add a little bit more applesauce and it'll soften up. That way you can roll it out. Refrigerate for 30 minutes. Then preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Once your dough has rested in the fridge for 30 minutes, roll it out between 2 sheets of parchment paper. Then transfer it to a 9-inch pie dish. Using your hands, press the dough evenly into the bottom and the sides of the dish. You can also use a glass to flatten the bottom. Then prick the dough a few times with a fork and stick this back into the refrigerator until we need it. To make the crumble topping, combine the oat flour and brown rice flour in a small bowl. Whisk until uniform, then pour in the maple syrup and coconut oil. Rub the wet ingredients into the dry until you get a crumbly mixture, and set it aside. To make the filling, first you need to peel, core, and slice your apples. I recommend getting an apple spiralizer to make this go super fast. This thing does all 3 of those things all at the same time. Link down below for your own spiralizer. It's super handy when you're dealing with large batches of apples. And it's super affordable. All I do is run each apple through the spiralizer and then I cut the apples in half so I have perfect slices. Then I put them in a large bowl with water and a little bit of lemon juice to keep them from turning brown. Fuji apples don't really turn brown that fast, so you could probably skip this step if you're using Fuji apples or apples that don't turn brown really fast. Now combine your apple slices, coconut sugar, potato starch, cinnamon, and lemon juice in a very large bowl. Stir until evenly coated. Now get that crust from the fridge, and we're gonna layer the apple slices tightly into the pie dish. Top with your crumble and bake for 30 minutes until the crust is browned. Then cover and cook for a further 20 to 30 minutes until the apples are cooked through. Cool your pie for at least 1 hour and then serve it with an optional dollop of whipped cream. So I put it in the oven. I left it in a little bit longer. It feels like cooking times for me take way longer than anyone says. Maybe my oven runs cold. I don't know. So I cooked it for 30 minutes. And I put foil over it and I put it back in for 35 more minutes. And then when I took the top off, it was still kind of blonde. I left it in for 10 more minutes just to make sure the apples were nice and cooked. Then I turned the broiler on just a little bit to brown the top a little bit more. And it turned out pretty good. It's definitely not your normal apple pie. It's sweet, it's appley, it's delicious, and it's guilt-free. This is my little go-to now for an apple pie at home. It's not like you eat apple pie every day. Let's give this a shot. The apples are still crunchy, so you could probably bake it a little bit longer depending on how hot your oven gets. The crust, not your typical crust, but it works. It tastes good. I added a touch more cinnamon than it said to add, and I love it. I love cinnamon and apples. Gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free. Pretty dang good for being free of all that stuff. Definitely not fat or sugar-free. Comment down below if you plan to make this and let me know how it goes. And thank you to the medical medium for another great recipe. If you like what you see and you want to see more, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. If you want to help support me, there's 3 ways you can do it. You can shop below at any of my Amazon links or any of the other links below, and I might receive a small commission. Or you could buy me a coffee at coffee.com/lunchwithlisa. Or you could become a patron at patreon.com/lunchwithlisa and join a community of really lovely people. Thank you so much for your support. And it's always free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. It's lunch with Lisa. Not gonna lie, this is my second piece. I gave one to my son too. I think he likes it. He hasn't said anything.